Hey, what is going on, my friends? We are back with a bigger board, so we will have more space to talk about different things. Today we will be talking about the third, fourth, and fifth dimension, and what kind of knowledge from this experience we can apply into our life so we can feel more connected and we can manifest faster, and also we can feel better, we can be happier, we can feel more freedom, and I will tell everything what you can apply. So we were talking till now about the collective consciousness, we were talking about the state of being, about thinking and feeling loop, and in one of my previous videos we were also talking about the third and the fifth dimension, and some of you were asking what is fourth dimension then and what it has to do with everything which is happening right now. So we will start again with our friend, because this guy is getting more and more famous now. We are actually searching the name for our guy, so let's start with him, and also let me know what do you think about the angle, because I will be still playing with new angles, and if you will have any idea what would be the best for filming or for understanding, just let me know. Okay, here is our guy, our friend, and this guy right now he's totally awakened. But he will share a story with you today about how he went from third dimension through fourth dimension into fifth dimension. So let's say he will share his experience with you, so you will be able to understand what really is going on and what we can apply. So let's say he's a happy man now because he's in fifth dimension. But before that, he was not so happy. He was always searching the happiness outside of him. And let's do it that way. Okay, so what it means? The third dimension, the dimension of space, time, and the body. So the body knows that it is moving through time somewhere in space, right? So yes, he needs shoes so he can move around, and also hands. Okay, it's getting amazing. Okay, so the third dimension is dimension of separation as well, because as religion told us, like I was talking in the previous video, God is somewhere outside of us. So this is our friend. He was searching for happiness. Let's say he went to church, and the church or the priest there told him God is outside of you. I mean, you need to be good. So he was thinking, okay, he need to prove something to somebody so he can feel happiness. And he also find out, if let's say that his salary was about 1,000 euros, and if he wanted to buy a house, he need to work at least 40 years that he will be able to buy a house, okay? But this was his only logical explanation. How I can buy a house? Okay, my salary is 1,000 euros and I will work 40 years, so I will be able to buy a house. But one thing that becomes really interesting to our friend is that he started realizing how time is really tricky. You know, sometimes it feels like, oh, I'm waiting so long, and sometimes time is moving really fast. So he found out that maybe time is really a relative. And at that moment, he became aware of the time. Not just, he was aware also here about the time, but when he found out that when he's having fun, the time is moving faster. And when he's bored, or when something is boring, the time is moving slower. So let's say when we are having fun, time is moving faster. And when he's bored, time is moving slower. So what we found out here, it's not that the speed of time changed. You know, the clock is still moving at the same speed. His consciousness changed, because when he was having fun, he was more present, which means that he was more at this moment. And when we are present, time can move faster because our consciousness is at this moment. So our consciousness is here. This is the awareness. This is the awareness. We are expanding the awareness. We are expanding the awareness. We are not changing time. We are not changing space. We are changing our consciousness, the state of consciousness. And as we told before, if our thoughts are creating emotions, emotions are creating more thoughts. I will share a story with it. So for all of you who feel that this is still not understandable, yesterday a friend of mine contacted me if I would go on a bike. For those of you who know my story, I'm coming from extreme sports, freestyle mountain biking. And when this guy contacted me if I would go with him on a bike, I started thinking, oh, bike, I love riding. And I started feeling the emotions of the last time when I was on a bike. So I started feeling happiness and adrenaline, and those emotions bring me more thoughts about how it was the last time when I was on my bike, and I started thinking about the competitions that I was doing in my past and things like that. And suddenly my body starts feeling the stress and adrenaline and also happiness and excitement. So everything happened really fast. But physically, I was at home. I was sitting on a chair, but my body is experiencing as I'm in adrenaline mode or something like that, as I'm already on my bike. So this is how it's happening. Thoughts are creating emotions, and emotions are awakening more thoughts, which are explaining the emotions. Okay, so now we can know that this circle, it can be an infinite circle. When I become aware that this is happening to me because of the thought of that I'm going on my bike, I knew that I can stop it. So I become present again and I stop that. But if we don't stop this circle will create our state of being. Okay, this circle is called the state of being. And it all depends when we will decide to change our state of being, because state of being is the state of consciousness, and this guy was aware of that, or he was becoming more aware of that when he find out that when he's having fun, the time is moving faster, which means when he's having fun, he's more present, and when he's bored or he's doing something that he don't like, for example, his job, the time was moving slower. So here he was more conscious, and here he was less conscious. Okay, so what it can explain us here? More we are conscious, more we are stepping into the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is awareness that we are actually not separated. The fourth dimension is the awareness that we are bigger than what we think we are, than who we think we are. Fourth dimension is when we start expanding our awareness, our consciousness, that we are not separated by our happiness, or we are not separated from anything around us. Fourth dimension is when we start realizing that everything is already within us, because everything is a state of consciousness. And what we will do with that, when we will become more and more aware of that, we will eventually step into a fifth dimension. And fifth dimension is where everything is now. Everything is now, everything is one, nothing is separated here, everything is connected. So everything is happening at the same moment. So what we can learn from here is that fifth dimension is like science is explaining it, that as the fifth dimension is the quantum field, the field of infinite possibilities. And more we are separating ourselves from that field, more we are getting as materialists. Who is materialist? Materialist is someone who thinks that he needs to buy something to make him happy. He needs to do something to feel better. He needs to go to church to find the God there. He needs to, do different things. But when we are always here in fifth dimension, when we are here in the now, everything is happening at the same moment. So we don't need to go anywhere to feel anything. We don't need to go 40 years to a certain job to buy a house, because everything already exists. And in fifth dimension, time don't exist anymore. So that's why fourth dimension is the awareness of time, and fifth dimension is understanding that everything is now. So why this is so important now? Because our friend here, let's say, this guy is becoming more and more conscious. When he stepped into the fifth dimension, he noticed, oh, I can experience a different reality. I don't need to go to job for 40 years to buy a house. I can imagine it as I already have it, because fifth dimension is the dimension of now, like I said. So if he will imagine I have a house already, I have a house of my dream, if he will imagine it really, really precise, like he will be able to imagine how it looks, where it is. He will be able to imagine he's walking in that house. He's having really a great time. He's so grateful for that house. This house is really amazing. The walls are in that color, those paintings are on the walls, and things like that. He will be imagining it, and what he will do, he will start changing his emotions, because those thoughts that he will be experiencing here, those thoughts will create also a reaction in his body, and that reaction will be a new emotions of excitement, emotions of gratitude, emotions of joy, because he will be experiencing as he is already here. And how this field is working, fifth dimension, the quantum field, or some call it universe, some call it God. So how this field is working, when he will send to that field, he will be present in the present moment, in the meditation. He will send the clear intention, this is clear intention, to that field, and with emotions of joy and gratitude, he will attract this house into his life. So, clear intention, thoughts, are electrical signals, and emotions are magnetical signals. So he will start attracting, I will draw a magnet here. Because that's why this guy is becoming really, really conscious what is happening in his life, because he is designing it. He is designing his life. So the third dimension is dimension of separation, the material dimension, when we need to do something to feel happy, when we need to buy something which will bring us happiness, when we need to go somewhere to feel God, when we are sick we need to go to someone who will heal us or who will provide something that we can heal. The fourth dimension is becoming aware, not just that this is not real, that this is not all here is, but there is something more. So we become aware when we start focusing that time is really relative, because when I'm having fun I feel better, I am more connected, and I also attract more great things to me, because every time I'm having fun some great things happen to me. This is from my experiences, and these are also experiences from our friend. So those things about time, his awareness about time becomes so interesting to him that he started researching more about spirituality, more about science and quantum physics, and why it is happening to this guy. And he found out that the biggest difference, because here all he knew about is the religion. From religion he found out spirituality, like I was talking about it also before. He found out spirituality, and religion is talking about God is outside of us, which is actually not really true, because Jesus was not talking about that. Jesus was talking that God is within us and our body is like a temple. But like I said in my previous video, that those stories are so old that people started losing the sense or the meaning behind the stories. So that's why this happened. But it is natural for the third dimension. So in fourth dimension, when we are stepping in fourth dimension, we are becoming more aware of that. So we are also manifesting more stories or more books or more people who are talking about that and more videos like that. You are here because of this. And spirituality is teaching us that God is within us. So God is in his heart, in his body, in each cell of his body. And the spirituality God is within you. But what comes interesting, here comes also new science who are proving that this is real, that each cell of our body is having a certain intelligence within it, a certain energy which can be affected by our consciousness, by our state of being. So what we can learn from here, spirituality is also talking everything is now, everything is happening at the same time, and that's what is bringing us then into a fifth dimension. So this one sounds familiar to you, but also to most of you this one sounds familiar to you. And if you are here right now, it means that you are getting here. It means that you will become soon a master of manifestation, because if you are aware of this, then you will become also aware that when you will start imagining more of happiness, more of great moments will come back to you. That's how it works. That's what it means when we step into a fifth dimension. So this is it for today. Let me know if the angle was good or you like more the previous one when you just see the board. And I like this one because I have more space here, but I will be still playing with different angles, so let's see what happens. Thank you so much, my friends, for being here today, for learning, and write in the comments below if you have any more questions. I want to say thanks to all of you for supporting my work, and also for all of you who are buying my art and my prints on my Etsy shop and Redbubble, and I'm truly grateful to all of you. I'm sending you lots of blessings and love. Have a beautiful day. Peace.